Players who play on Hall of Fame or comp online games will be playing with green or miss shot timing for the ultimate challenge. But team control modes will see more forgiving shot timing, so you won't have to memorize every single player's release to the exact frame to find success. The shot timing release time setting from NBA 2K23 has been converted to a new setting called Shot Timing Visual Cue. Now you can set your desired release point based on whatever animation cue works best for you. This makes it much easier to play with players and teams you're not as familiar with. Advanced layups like floaters, reverses, euros, hop steps, and scoops are much more effective this year, and I'd encourage everyone to try out layup timing. It's much more forgiving for high percentage layups and also gives you the ability to finish tough circus layups in traffic if you can master it. For dunkers in New Gen, you can now force rim hangs from any two-hand dunk by simply keeping the sprint trigger held when the dunker grabs the rim. Down on the Pro Stick will give you flashy dunks, and up-down or down-up double throws will let you attempt contact dunks in traffic with the dunk meter. Meter dunks are green or miss on higher difficulty levels now, so you have to be precise to finish off the play. Bigs are going to have a lot of fun dominating in the paint in NBA 2K24. You can now branch out of any offensive rebound to a putback attempt by simply pressing the shot button after the catch. Post fades and hop shots are also really effective shots for post players, and you can definitely feel the impact of strength and weight as bigger players easily dominate weaker ones on the glass.
We're gonna talk a little bit about what's new, what's not in the game, like what should be in the game, blah 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 blah, whatever it is. Now, apparently there's something that FIFA's done a lot of times already, like 2 years already, the pro movement, where they have cameras in real game and it catches movement of the players, etc., which is going to be interesting for shooting and dribbles. So apparently there's different releases, different cues, and the shooting is going to be green or miss, pretty much at the park or like competitive mode, which is good. And it's going to be like that with dunks too, which is amazing because dunks were just very forgiving if you played good defense, and they just kind of slightly late, little late, whatever, it sometimes would go in. But that's gone, so you really have to be good at what you're doing. You got to know your timing on your shots, on your dunks. On the shooting, it'd be awesome because you get to choose, from what I've heard, from what I've seen the videos, you create the shooting in a different way, like you put it together apparently, so we'll see how that actually goes.
Defensive movement has improved on many fronts, with better responsiveness and less sliding. This helps defenders get where they need to be, and with the improved body-up system, ball handlers will have a tough time getting free against great defenders. The improved contact can also be felt in the paint. Big defensive anchors will have a much easier time putting a body on shooters at the rim and forcing tough shots. Directional steals are also back. You need to reach with the correct hand closest to the ball and avoid reaching across the body to maximize success and avoid foul calls. You can also use directional steals to play passing lanes by flicking the right stick in the correct direction to get your hand in the way and deflect the pass. And when it comes to contesting shots, it's important to be patient and wait for the correct time to jump. If you're behind the shooter, jumping too early, biting on fakes, or closing out late, you'll quickly find yourself racking up fouls and giving up and-one opportunities.
Defense, yes. So a lot of people that use locks and stuff are hyped. I don't necessarily use the lock, but I use the big that can move, shoot, dunk, whatever. The problem was some slashers would take from distance from the sidelines, or maybe up front by the free throw line. No matter how good your blocks was, your interior defense, your strength, I mean, it forgave the offense. So as long as they had the right badges, right attributes, right mechanic abuse. But now this year, from what all the info we've gathered, that's done. So if you're a good defender, you know how to bump, you know how to position yourself in the paint, you're really gonna do damage. You might not necessarily always get the block or always get the steal, but you're gonna be a big difference in the game. So we're gonna need the defenders, the locks, the big men that can be in the paint. So that's a big plus, I'd say.
TakeOver returns to NBA 2K24, but with a different spin. Instead of assigning a TakeOver ability as part of the build process, now you can choose a category of attributes to boost on the fly. When you fill up the TakeOver meter, you can choose between finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense rebounding, or physicals. If you delay your TakeOver and fill up double TakeOver, you can choose 2 different categories of ratings to boost, making you a true threat on both ends of the floor.
Takeovers are going to be interesting because Mike Wayne explained it in a way, and I know most of you have seen already, but you don't select one on your preset build. You unlock the take as you're playing. Now you get to decide on what take you're going to get. But it's going to be interesting to see how a small point guard, if they decide to do like glass take or something of that manner, or like a point guard that has no defense and they do like a lock, or depending on what kind of takeovers there are, to see how much it increases their ability and their attributes for certain things, because it's going to dictate a lot on how we're going to build our players. Because you're going to maybe you don't need as much steals, maybe you don't need as much block or as much rebound, or you do, depending on how it's going to affect your player, in that situation. So that's going to be very interesting, and I mean, we all got to see how it goes, because like I said, it's going to dictate on how we make our players. All in all, the game as a whole is going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because of all these things that are making it seem like it's going to be amazing for both offense and defense, because you need to be skillful. You can't just be left and right cheese and do a quick blow by and expect to just get the buckets. If the defender's good and they bump you, that's going to cost you, which is amazing. So we're going to see the real good players, because no matter how good you were defensively, especially since they patched steals at the beginning of this year, once they patched that, the offense ran the show. No matter how good you were defensively, yeah, every now and then you can get a steal or a stop, but now it's going to be big skill-based game, which is amazing. Hopefully they don't patch it like the first 2 weeks if people are complaining about it. I just wish people would adapt, man. I hope people adapt and just stop complaining and just enjoy the game. Find a way to get better at it. Use your teammates, pass the ball. There's so many ways you can adapt, but some people just want to do their own thing, and I get it, because last year you needed the point threshold and you couldn't really do that by passing the ball. But hopefully they don't change the gameplay as much this year. So I mean, everyone's hyped for it. They were all hyped at the beginning of last year too, so hopefully it stays the way they say it's gonna stay. I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be amazing, so we'll see.